It's another beautiful day to be a Raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And we've come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring them.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Where is that at, might you ask? It's this little place down the street, around the fucking corner, that we like to call deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction, and as we do every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction, we drop back deep in the pocket and let it fly league wide as we hit on all the hot league topics. Because, well, not just silver and black news, but the NFL playoffs are upon us. Unfortunately, our fucking invite got lost in the mail, Raider Nation. We weren't invited to the playoffs this season. I guess our invite just got lost in the mail. I'm sure that's all it is. It couldn't be because we sucked bad enough not to get invited. Certainly that wasn't it. Or maybe it was. Unfortunately. Maybe it was. So our season ended yesterday with a gigantic thud. An impressive, lackluster performance. Little passion. Little fire. Pretty much what we'd come to see in December in 2017. So it wasn't anything new. Now, since then, obviously, the fallout happened immediately. Jack Del Rio basically announced his own firing at his press conference, saying that Mark Davis had let him know that his services would no longer be needed in 2017. That was it. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that press conference. What's up, Captain? Got Captain BC in the house. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on a Monday. As always, I appreciate any second you spend with me on Raider Reaction. Any second you spend with me is a second you're not spending somewhere else, and I appreciate any second. My new and old, my band of pirates. Thank you as always. Now, those of you that didn't watch the press conference, it was a painful press conference to watch, as you basically realized that a man who had grew up a Raiders fan was fulfilling his dream coaching position, coaching for the Oakland Raiders, and known that basically literally minutes before you see him at that press conference, that his basically his professional heart was ripped out of his chest, and he was told he would no longer be needed. Now, I understand it is a harsh business. Business is business. I understand all of that. But I do believe that 3 years, a turnaround, a 12-4 season, and the fact that months ago, mind you, you thought well enough of this man to sign him to a 4-year extension. But you didn't think well enough of the man to let him get back to the facility to sit down and have a nice heart-to-heart talk with him, have a proper press conference after the fact. I don't know. I'm not sure how it went down. I don't think we'll ever know. None of us were behind the scenes, but the reports I got were not Jack fired himself. It was, he was told he was not going to be brought back. I think all of that, the loss could have been taken, and all of that could have been taken back home. And it dealt with there. The coach should not basically have to tell the world, his family, everybody right there on a press conference live after the game, after you just lost. You shouldn't have to tell them that I've lost my job on New Year's Eve. It's just, I just don't think that went down right. Now, the fact that the decision has been made, the decision has been made. It is what it is. Jack is out. I wanted to see him come back for one more year, but it is what it is. I'm not going to waste time talking about that now because that's in the past. What's done is done. So I'm not going to waste time talking about, oh, we should have kept, because you know how I felt. I thought Del Rio should have had one more year. I thought he deserved one more year. Continuity at the head coaching position in the NFL is a recipe for success. If you look at the teams right now who return to the playoffs on a damn near yearly basis, if you look at those franchises, they have stability at the top. The Patriots, Bill Belichick. Steelers, Mike Tomlin. Packers, Mike McCarthy. Even Seattle, Pete Carroll, they've stood behind him. The Cowboys, Jason Garrett, even though he's pretty much a puppet with Jerry Jones' hand just shoved up his ass. That's why he keeps Garrett. It's because he needs a puppet. And Garrett's a good puppet. Apparently his arm fits well. But, like I said, I do understand the NFL is a result-based business, and he did not have the results last season. I just thought the timing and the way it went down was not classy, and Jack deserved better. That's my thought on that. Now, moving forward, because that's obviously in the past, and I'm not a dwell on the past type guy. But that was obviously in the past. Now the future. I honestly thought the rumors were much stronger and the fire was much stronger for a possibility of a return of Gruden returning to Tampa Bay. He has made amends with the Glazers, who are owners of the Buccaneers. But 3 to 4 weeks ago, they put him in the Ring of Honor. They put his name on the stadium. They had the whole Super Bowl team back there at Monday Night Football. He's been in the facility. They've been talking about him. Their coach had only won 4 games, and Dirk Cutter was going out. It just looked like he lives in Tampa. It looked like Tampa was a bit, but maybe the carrot that Oakland is dangling was just much better than what Tampa Bay was dangling. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe there is a percentage ownership like the rumors have been out there. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Maybe it was just such a sweet deal he couldn't say no. Because the fact of the matter is, and a lot of people in the area have been talking about it, in the Tampa area have been talking about it, that his kids were getting to the age where he didn't need to be around anymore. That he was going to now start having free time that he didn't have before, because his kids were old enough. and that he was going to start looking for the next project in his life, of his career. Well, maybe this is it. But I tell you what, I am hesitant. I am not sold on the return of Chucky. I am not a Chucky fan. The way he left, there was a lot of mystery. There was a lot of different stories. There was a lot of reasoning, but on the reasoning he left. He goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2002. Inherits Monty Kiffin's defense, a Tony Dungy defense, and a team basically built for him, just needing somebody to steer the offense and tweak it enough. And he wins a championship. A guru, you say, John? Well, let me show you the stats of a guru. That 12-4 season when he took over another man's team and won a championship. The following season he went 7-9. Your coaching guru. Then he went 5-11. Your coaching guru. Now he did bounce back to an 11-5 in 2005. But then back to 4-12 and 2 9-7s before he was released and let go. Ran out of town by the Buccaneers. Now, before that in Oakland, he only coached for 4 seasons. An 8-8, an 8-8, a 12-4, and a 10-6. The best he ever did was reach the championship game and lost. The aura of John Gruden is actually remembered better than what John Gruden actually was in reality. Now, I agree 100%. If he is signed, he puts his hand on the book of Raider, and he raises his hand, and he swears to uphold the shield and try to bring back greatness to the silver and black. What other chance do we have but to stand behind him? Whether you believe he's the guy or not. Whether you had it or not. And that's a good point. Whoever just brought that up, that's a good point. Mr. Ed Arroyo, that is a very good point that you just brought up. He took what John Gruden did and was good at doing was taking an old veteran quarterback and getting the best out of them. He did it with Rich Gannon, he did it with Brad Johnson when he went to Tampa. What John Gruden has never been able to do, and what we need, is somebody that will take a young quarterback and take them to that next elite level. He was never able to do that in Tampa, which was the main reason he was run out. He was never able to draft the quarterback, and he was never able to develop a young quarterback, which is part of the reason he was pushed out of town. Now, he would have the quarterback in place in Oakland in Derek Carr. But can he develop him? The NFL is all about egos and relationships. And being able to build this delicate little thing that we call team. This delicate little thing that you call team. This delicate little thing that you call... Nobody knows how this thing called team comes together. Nobody really knows. But when you get it, it's a beautiful thing. You can run off championships. You make multiple returns to the playoffs. You got guys that are playing for each other. It's this thing called team. Everybody strives to get it. Can he bring that? He had a very conservative game plan. Go back and watch the Tuck game if you can stand to watch it without losing your lunch. But go back and watch it. Gruden's conservative game plan absolutely murdered that game. That game should have never even got to the Tuck. It should have been over long before that. But it's not. The thing is, we're not going to know 100% if Gruden's the man. We're not going to know 100% for probably another week. He's got contractual obligations through the network, and he can't really say anything. So, this is all going to simmer and boil over and fester for days yet. But let me throw it out there, hypothetical, because this isn't the first time we've had an off-season Gruden rumor. Although the temperature is much hotter than it has ever been before. Since we now have all of the pieces in place to entice somebody coming, we're moving into a new stadium in a season or two. You took the words right out of my mouth. John took the words right out of my mouth. He saw where I was going. Let me ask, if it is not John Gruden, then who is it? I liked Bruce Arians as a possibility, but Bruce Arians retired today. Somebody just asked about the assistants, Todd Downing, obviously, who we were all wanting to see fired. Well, basically, the firing of Jack Del Rio was basically a systematic firing for pretty much damn near the whole staff. That's just kind of the way it works. They won't be fired until somebody is hired. But all of the staff was told, it's okay, you guys can go. You're not fired, but you can go ahead and start looking for new jobs if you would like. So yes, as well as Pagano is done, he's not guaranteed that he's coming back. Because when a new coach comes back in, he's most likely going to bring his own regime. So Downing is gone. We don't know anything right now. Until the new coach comes in, we know nothing. Because with a new coach, he's going to bring in an OC. I've heard of talks to the Jets offensive coordinator as possibly somebody who Gruden would want to bring in. Would he retain Pagano at defensive coordinator? There's talk about, correct Joseph, there is talk about Gannon coming in to coach quarterbacks. An unproven coach. Gannon's not a proven coach. Is that who you want in the ear? And then just stop and think, Raider Nation. Just stop and think about the big picture. Sit back. Look at the big picture of all of this. Because if this goes, just say hypothetically, this goes down. John Gruden returns. Rich Gannon becomes the quarterback's coach. Obviously, Al Davis and John Gruden had a falling out. Rich Gannon and Al Davis were not getting along. What would Al think about that possible move? What would Al think about you bringing John Gruden back and giving him part ownership of the team? Is Al rolling over in his grave about the thought of that even happening? I mean, just think about that. There's some food for thought for you. What would the great Al Davis think about that? He wasn't getting along with anybody. It's a good point, Josh. He wasn't, but I just thought about that the other day when I heard it. I was like, that's just interesting. I wonder what Al would think about some of the developments of late. Speaking of rumors, players, changes, we know the coaching staff is in a major upheaval. Somebody else asked about the defensive coordinator, Pagano. Nobody has been released as far as coordinators because there's nobody to release them. They have no boss, basically. Their coach was fired. So until a new coach comes in, and then decides if he wants to keep anybody, which he's not. So the organization has told the coaches and the coordinators that they are free to start looking for other employment. So take that for what it's worth. You got a new head coach coming in. He's going to clean house. He's going to put his own staff in. And who would have thought, Raider Nation, that we would be talking rebuilding in 2018? Who would have thought? I had us predicted at 13-3. 13-3, and we ended up 6-10. I mean, now that's what's going on with the coaching side of the coin. Now with what's going on with the players' side of the coin. Michael Crabtree has been the first one you've heard about. Is that they're looking to not bring Crabtree back. Obviously, it's a money thing, as well as supposedly an attitude thing. There's conflicting stories as to why Michael Crabtree spent so much time on the sidelines this last week. I'm hoping it's an attitude thing and it could get adjusted. I don't want to see Crabtree leave. Coop is supposed to be our man, but he has not taken that last step to become the elite wide receiver he needs to be. And Michael Crabtree has been that. I like the Crabtree-Cooper combination. I like that combination. So, he's not what I want to see leave. Now, Beast Mode, another controversial player this season. I also do not want to see Beast Mode. I want to see Beast Mode back for one more year. Yes, Marshawn Lynch gets a bad rap. He's a tough pill to swallow. He doesn't stand for the national anthem. He's eccentric. He doesn't like to talk at press conferences. He's a tough pill to swallow for some people. But you know what? Go look at what Marshawn Lynch did with the number of attempts that he had over the course of the season. Marshawn Lynch was not given the kind of opportunities that Marshawn Lynch needs to be effective, and he was still putting up numbers. His yards per carry was up. He was number 3 in the league. Number 3 in the league in yards after contact. Now, to just throw this out there as a thought-provoking question, you got the number 3 guy in the league in yards after contact, and it's 4th and 2, Raider Nation. What are you going to do? Oh, let's run a pitch. Let's run a pitch to the outside. My 11-year-old son wouldn't do that shit in Madden. And that's why Todd Downing is not going to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL next year. Because you have Marshawn Lynch, 3rd in the league in yards after contact. It's 4th and 2. And you ran a fucking pitch. A pitch. Earlier in the game, it was 3rd and 19. What did we run there? I don't know. Deep seam. But, something. Get down the field. When you're already at that point, you're 6 and 9. I don't know. It's 3rd and 19. What are you going to run? Well, of course. If you're Todd Downing, you run a screen. But the pitch was all I needed to see. 4th and 2. Marshawn Lynch, a pitch. You got one of the best running backs in history of hitting somebody and moving them forward and getting yards, and you got him moving laterally away from the fucking line of scrimmage. Are you kidding me? That takes away everything Marshawn Lynch is. That doesn't take a genius. Marshawn Lynch needs to be moving forward towards the line and hitting somebody. Like I said, my 11-year-old wouldn't call that in Madden. You'd pitch it. That's like a suicide play. You know you're going to get creamed 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That play only works on a surprise, not on 4th down. That's why you will not be an offensive coordinator in 2018. Your ass will be washing jock straps for some arena football league somewhere. Working in the equipment room. Todd Downing, head jock washer. That's going to be your position for 2018. Congratulations. You made it 1 season. You fucked that up bad. So I want beast mode back. It may not be... I want beast mode back. I want beast mode back, and I want Crabtree back. I think those are attitudes that can be mended. I think the talents outweigh the attitudes. And I think that we can make amends there. And whoever the new coach coming in, that should be one of his pet projects out of the gate, is going through and assessing talent. And those two shouldn't be two of the guys that are on the block to go. In my opinion. If you were just joining me, this is Raider Reaction Monday. Goes to the post as we drop back deep in the pocket. Let it fly league wide. I'm the Commish. This is Raider Reaction. Thank you for joining me, new and old, my band of pirates. Thank you for always joining me. I appreciate it. Hold on. Comment right there. Let me jump back and see that. That was a... Aaron Parks. Navarro Bowman, I agree, is another big guy I want to see back. Bowman was a big addition, and I want to see him come back. I want to see Irvin back, and obviously we'll be getting the deal for Max signed before the season comes up. He will be much like Carr's contract last year. That will probably be worked on right up until training camp. But Mac will be the goal this next season, is getting him signed in. Oh, Ed. Alden Smith is history. So history. He hasn't played in so long. He's history, man. He's ancient history. Alden Smith is all done in the NFL. He's on a bar stool somewhere right now, soaking up happy hour. That's where Alden Smith is, unfortunately. Amerson, out. I suspect Amerson to be out. There's going to be some changes at defensive back. Possibly a position we broach again, since we are going to be drafting a lot higher than expected. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to mention that. It was on my list. Vanderdoes, what a heartbreaker. And in a rookie, basically, Eddie Vanderdoes was the biggest impact rookie that we had all season. Our number one, Garyon Conley, never really saw the field. I think he's a top 10 talent, and I look forward to seeing what he can bring. Obi, our number 2, never. We saw a little of Obi, but he was never really healthy. Marquel Lee got some action. But Eddie Vanderdoes was pretty much on the defensive line out of the gate. And for him to tear his ACL in the last game of the season, it was unfortunate way for him to end his rookie season, and now he's got to spend his offseason shit going through rehab. What do I think about Carl Joseph, Michael? I like Carl Joseph. It's too bad for him as well. He leaves the game with a hamstring, so now he's got to go into the offseason dealing with a hamstring issue. Just sucks. Just sucks. But I'm a big Carl Joseph fan. Luwani, I liked Luwani coming up. Last game, something happened. When Joseph went out, it seemed like we really lost a lot of communication when Luwani came in. And I wonder if that's just more of an issue of reps. He just wasn't in there as much because it seemed like, we were getting burnt by the chokers deep repeatedly. So I don't know if it was because Luwani, from what I've seen, he's got a lot of potential and he's a ball hawk. He was the heir apparent, him and Obi, to step in and replacing Reggie Nelson, who I think Nelson's gone. Nelson was expected to not make it last offseason, and he worked his ass off and he beat everybody out. But that's not going to happen again, man, because Reggie Nelson did not show it in season, and these new guys are going to get a shot. The future's Carl Joseph, the future's Obi, the future's Shalom Luwani. Those are your future. And I don't see Reggie Nelson in that mix. He's a cap hit, and he's going to be gone. Nicholas Morrow did step it up and looked good. He's another young guy in there. If we sign back and keep Navarro Bowman with some of the young guys, Marquel Lee, Nicholas Morrow, our linebacking core doesn't look that bad with Bruce in there. Looking ahead, it's unfortunate that we have to start looking ahead to 2018, but 2018, it's positive looking ahead. I've heard talks that Bruce could be one of the ones gone, but I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't believe that's going to happen. Sean Smith, interesting. Sean Smith has one of the biggest clouds over him. Now, coming into the season, a lot of you guys that have been with me, I was a big proponent on giving Sean Smith this season because I thought last season he just didn't come in and fit in well with the scheme. And I knew he was a talented player. And I kept preaching that. The talent just didn't disappear from him. And you've seen it. Finally, in the last third of the season, when Sean Smith got a defensive coordinator who put him in the position to be successful, you started to see what kind of corner he could be. So to me, with as shitty as our defensive backs are, then yeah. Whoa, hold on. I got rumblings in the comment section here. Where'd the ghetto comment get thrown around at? And I agree, you gotta watch that comment. That can be taken wrong. That's one of them buzzwords. That can be skewed a little bit. That can be skewed a little bit. Donald Penn. Donald Penn. He's an interesting one. He's coming back, obviously. He's under contract. But what do you see out of Penn next season? Obviously there was a big downfall, a big regression this season. But there was a big regression team-wide. So, that's what happens when you have a team that's underperforming in that manner. Now, I do want to spin out for just a second, because this is our Monday Ghost of the Post edition. No, David, Mac's contract is not up. They took the 5th year option on Mac, which means they have this year to get him signed, but they will not have that flow into the season. They will sign him before camp starts, much like they did Derek Carr in this last season. They pulled the 5th year option on Mac because they did not want to have to deal with Mac's contract and Carr's contract at the same time last season. So they dealt with contract number 1, Derek Carr, before training camp last season. 5th-yeared Mac. That means we will deal with Mac in the same manner this season, before the camp gets here. Because guaranteed, they do not want the distraction of going in to the 2018 season with one of the best damn defensive players on the fucking planet not under a secured contract. No way. Because that will be all of the talk. That will dominate the talk. And you don't want to have that coming into the season. You don't want to have that coming into the season. Now, I do want to step back out and then I'll take some of your other questions, but I do want to step out a second and get your guys' thoughts on who remains. It's wild card weekend. You got 2 games Saturday, you got 2 games Sunday. You got the Titans and the Queefs. The Falcons and the Rams. Who do you think takes it in the Titans and the Queefs? This is such a weak game, man. The Titans and the Queefs is such a weak playoff game. The fact that we are not in the playoffs and you got a first round playoff game that's that fucking weak. The Titans are nothing. Mariota is nothing. And the fact that, oh man, the fact that you've got that matchup, that you've got the Bills and the Jags, and the Titans and the Chiefs are the wild card games. It's sickening. Sickening. We are better than that. We are better than that. The Titans and the Chiefs, man, I don't know who I pick in that one. I honestly don't. I think the Bills and the Jags comes down to the health of LaShawn McCoy. Honestly. If you got a healthy LaShawn McCoy, that's a whole different team. He is the motor that makes the Bills run. And LaShawn McCoy isn't healthy because I know he went out last game. I haven't checked on his health because, obviously, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck what his health is. So I haven't checked because I don't care. He could have a bone sticking out of his fucking leg. I don't give a shit. It's not my running back. I don't care. I don't keep up on it. My season's over. My fantasy season's over. And my team's been eliminated. It reaches the time of the NFL season where I don't give a shit about the rest of these teams. I just don't care. I hear a lot of other people say, well, I'm rooting for so-and-so to win. And I'm going to root for the Vikings to win because they've never... You know what? Never, ever, ever, ever in my life have I ever rooted for another team to win. Ever. I may root for a team to lose, but I will never root for another team to win. Ever. Titans Chiefs. I won't root for the Titans to win. Fuck that. Root for another team to have joy? Hell no. But I'll root for the Chiefs to lose all damn day. Yes, Billy, even against the Pats. Because I would root for them to lose. I know it sounds like the same thing, but it's psychological. I can't root for another team to win. Ever. Because I can never root for another team to have the joy that I want my team to have. But I can root for another team to lose. So that's what the NFL playoffs Of course I have a pick for the Super Bowl, Frank, of who I think will be the team that wins it. I think it could be the Saints in the NFC. And I think it's going to come down to the Pats or the Steelers in the AFC. No, that's not rooting for anybody. That's just as an analyst just picking who I think will win. I think it's going to come down Pats Steelers. I think everybody knows that. The rest of the field sucks in the AFC. The Jags, no fucking way. You got Blake Bortles. That's a punch of your fucking playoff ticket to the exit is just by having Blake Bortles on your roster. You guys are done. Chiefs, no way. No way. Titans, no way. It's going to come down to Patriots Steelers. Sucks. Sucks. Now, in the NFC, the Eagles. The Eagles have proved, man. Without Carson Wentz, they're not the same team, and they're going to go out. They're not. They're going to go out. The Falcons, if the Falcons could beat the Rams in week 1, they could possibly be dangerous. The Saints, I think the Saints are dangerous only because of the combination of Kamara and Ingram mixed with Breeze in the passing game. Man, with a running game like that, Drew Brees, that's a scary combination. But the NFC is really up in the air. With the Panthers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Rams, I think those are your teams in the NFC that can possibly make some noise for you. I don't think the Eagles are it. With Wentz out, they're done. They're done. But, man, I don't want to see the Bills win. I never, ever want to see the Bills get one. I never, ever want to see the Jags get one. The Saints, they've got one, but, the Saints are just... The Vikings, I don't think the Vikings are for real at all. I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with me, but I think the Vikings and the Eagles, the two top teams in the NFC, I think you're going to see their true colors in the playoffs. And I think it comes down to their quarterback position. But we'll see. I have not been a believer in the Vikings all year. The Eagles either. The Eagles have shown their true colors, but, unfortunately, it's due to injury. That's always unfortunate. I hate seeing a team not make it because of injury. I would have rather seen the Eagles go and be eliminated with Wentz starting. Oh, T, you ain't lying. The Ravens pissing down their leg and letting the Bengals end your season. Destiny in your own hands, and you let the Bengals, of all teams, eliminate your season. Russell, I want to see, basically, I guess, I would like to see some new blood in the Super Bowl. If that's who has to win it. Because it comes down to me, when I look at teams, obviously we don't want to see the Steelers or the Patriots anywhere near another Super Bowl ring. Those two are out completely. So we don't want to see them win. I don't really want to see the Panthers get one, because I can't stand Cam Newton. The Rams, they got one in St. Louis. They don't need another one. They're good for now. They don't need to get one in L.A., because I like the fact that we're the only L.A. Super Bowl champion. The Raiders. The Saints, I'm indifferent about the Saints. I don't know why. The Saints the Saints sucked for so long that the fact that they've even won one, I'm just like, if they win another, I honestly wouldn't give a shit. They can't have 3 because we got 3. So I don't want no teams in the hierarchy of Super Bowl wins catching us. So, but 2, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, the Saints sucked forever. They were one of the laughing stocks, the Aints, historically. The Bills, I never, ever, ever want to see the Bills. And they don't have the talent anyway. I mean, come on. You going to win a fucking Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor? Get the fuck out of here. Chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. Not a damn chance in hell. So, let's jump back into Raiders, because obviously that's what we all want to talk about. It's just such a fall from where we thought we would be to where we are. Man, I had us picked at 13-3. And we ended up 6-10. I mean, I wasn't the only one. The guys that are a hell of a lot smarter than me and paid a hell of a lot more than me had the Raiders in the Super Bowl as well. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out for one reason or another. But I don't think that this season should have turned into a rebuilding season. I don't think we should have started overturning the cart right after the game. I think we should have went home. I think we should have evaluated and then made decisions. That's honestly what I think. I don't think it should have been so rash. I think cooler heads should have prevailed. But it's not what happened. It's unfortunate. The NFL is a tough damn league to win in. There's only 16 games. There's only 16 games. The difference between you being 10-6 and 6-10 is 4 freaking games, people. You let 4 little games? I think Jack Del Rio deserved another year. Yes, he made mistakes, obviously, in 2017. But goddamn it, I'm telling you, the franchises that are successful right now in the NFL are the ones that stand behind their coach, even when they make some mistakes. You can't fire a guy every time he makes a mistake. You know why? Because he gets afraid to take risks. Because he knows if he screws up once, he's gone. I think he deserved one more year. But now we're left in limbo. And the 2017 season, which was supposed to be the return to greatness, is now turned into the 2018 season. We're all sitting here scratching our head, saying, what the fuck are we now? Because now, right now, January 1st, 2018, we are a team without an identity because we don't have a head coach. Last year at this time, we were talked about as one of the best teams in the goddamn league. And now we don't have a coach or an identity. What a difference a season makes. What a difference a season makes. It's going to be interesting. This week is going to be very interesting. You are going to hear a lot of rumors. And there's going to be a lot of coaching talk. But we're out in front. We jumped out. We're in the race early. We're in the coaching race early to grab whoever we want. I hope Mark Davis, I hope Reggie McKenzie know what the fuck they're doing. Because an NFL career is a very short thing. You have Derek Carr and Khalil Mack right now, young and in the prime of their careers. And you just wasted another season. They've both played 4 years. We should have already been knocking on the door of a championship. And we're not. And now we're rebuilding. This is not where we should have been at the place of these guys' careers. So right now we are squandering days that we have before now we're talking about looking for the next great quarterback to fill Derek Carr's shoes. We already have enough questions with Mr. Carr in his regression in 2017 from his 2016 season. Yes, he's our quarterback, but now he has a lot to prove. Now he has a lot to prove. The $125 million man. And when you're paid $125 million and you come out and you go lead your team to 6-10, you own some of that too. You don't get away from that. You don't get to tuck that on the coach that got fired. You don't get to tuck that on your offensive coordinator. No, absolutely not, Frank. I wouldn't touch his contract at all. Ed, excuse me. I wouldn't touch his contract at all. But he has a lot to prove this season. He needs to come out and show that he's worth what he was paid. Because in 2017, he didn't show that. He did not come out and show that he was the man, that he was elite. Last season, we started talking about Derek Carr on the cusp of being an elite quarterback. And then you had this year. So, it's going to be interesting. Now, it is 2018. It's a new year. It's a new year for the Oakland Raiders. It's a new year for the Raider Reaction team as well. We've got some big things planned for 2018. So stay tuned. We've got some big things planned for 2018. Tomorrow, my Raider Nation report, a solid hour of everything silver and black. So join me tomorrow as we'll get back into all of the latest news and everything that's going on. Wednesday, we'll have NorCal Raider Rick joining me for Silver and Black Coast to Coast. And I got a special live treat for you Thursday. As we're starting to get out, because it's the off season now. So if you know somebody, or you yourself if you got a charity event going on, you've got a member of Raider Nation that's just doing something special. We want to talk to you, we want to highlight you, and we want to get you on the show, and we want to get you out there so that the rest of Raider Nation can see what you're doing as well. So we've got something special for you on Thursday. And then Friday, of course, is Black Friday. We're getting ready to line up a regular show for BC. We've got things in the works, so stay tuned to Raider Reaction. We dropped a new logo. Check it out. Hope you like it. The new hype video's pinned to the top of the page. We got Raider Reaction merchandise coming out this month. And the Raider Reaction shop will be opening as well on the page. So we've got a lot of Raider Reaction freshness coming your way. Go like, Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hardcore Challenge Live Studio Webcasts. And go follow us on Twitter at RaidER. The captain did not get fired. The captain is still with us. He's just not going to be with me in studio as much since the season is over. The captain is still with us, and he's going to be doing his own thing on the page as well with some of his own streams. So the captain is not going anywhere. Just won't be as much commission the captain until we get a little closer to the season, draft time. We're talking about doing something for the draft, so, and then he'll be in periodically, but it's not going to be a weekly regular thing like we were doing in season, so. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tune back in tomorrow. We'll get into more, because, man, all of a sudden, the silver and black is a mess. But, like I was saying, we continue our mission into 2018 at Raider Reaction. Myself and the entire team, we have one mission at Raider Reaction, and that is to paint the world silver and black. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. Peace, love, Raider Nation!